Hey, this is Shrita Cadenhead with Renew, Refresh, Reset Your Life. Sorry I had a little difficulty here with my connections. I'm always doing a test lab with the person I'm going to be interviewing just to make sure we don't have any connection issues. And here I am coming on the day of the broadcast. I'm having my own set of issues. Now, she's trying to log on and she's having some trouble. Before, about a minute ago, she was on and I couldn't get on. So I'm not really sure what the deal is. Let's see if we can get her to try to come on one more time. And I'm so sorry about the hold up. Let me see. I got a message on Facebook here. Somebody was trying to log on. Let me see. Had to close browser and try again. I'm on. Okay, so I got some people on Facebook who are trying to get on and can't get on. I feel terrible. We're going to see if we can get Sabrina on here, and we're going to be talking about crushing comfort zones and vulnerabilities, because nobody likes to feel vulnerable, and nobody likes to be in a comfort zone when they feel like it's going to keep them from doing things that they would like to do, or makes them feel very uncomfortable about their situations, or have them in a bad place otherwise. No, I see. Okay, Sabrina's saying that now she's having trouble. So let me get her to tell her to try again. We're going to get it together. All right. I see we have somebody in the house. Someone have three people who are here incognito, and that's perfectly okay. If you want to join the conversation, or if you want to take a seat on the blab or ask questions, you'll need to be logged in with your Twitter account. So I want to encourage you to do that so that we can engage with you as well.
Hello.
Look, I'm always so happy when people finally appear on the screen, particularly when they're having some issues. I'm like, oh darn! And so when I finally see you, I really just want to hug you because I'm so happy. How you do? You know what? I don't know what happened, because I do that test lab to make sure we don't have any difficulty. And so when I close my browser, hang on for just a second. Let's see who's trying to come in. If you hang on just a second, give me a few minutes to get started. Not you, Sabrina, somebody's trying to call in. If you'll give me just a few minutes to get started with my guest, then I will be taking people who can have a seat as well. Thank you. I appreciate your watching. So another thing, I always forget to record too. So now I'm recording this, Sabrina, so you can come back later on and watch if you want to. You can share it. You can use it in some of your own marketing. If you want to show some people your interview skills or what we're going to be talking about, you can do that as well. But one of the reasons I want to, I'm always talking about comfort zone. That's my thing, because generally comfort zones will keep people from doing stuff that they really want to do. It will keep them from pursuing their career paths, their dreams, their goals, or whatever, simply because it makes them uncomfortable. But you know what? Everybody is uncomfortable about something. Okay. And, I read just here recently when they talk about being courageous, and I never really thought about this before, and it makes so much sense, because we have people that we see that we say, God, they're so brave, God, they got it, they're so courageous. But one thing we don't realize, that courage, okay, listen to this, okay, courage cannot exist without fear.
Exactly.
Okay, so when you see people doing something, you feel like they're very courageous, and oh God, I wish I could do that. They're so brave. Well, yes, they are brave, but you need to know, okay, that they are afraid, that they are fearful, even as they are doing it. But the difference is they are doing it anyway. So let me just introduce my guest. This is Sabrina May. She is a native of Birmingham, Alabama, a graduate of Ramsey High School, and she attended University of Alabama at Birmingham. She has a background in criminal justice, and she has embarked upon various aspects within that field. She was employed with a bank for 14 years as a fraud investigator with a primary focus in white-collar crime. She also has over 12 years experience supervising violent and non-violent criminals within the court system. Talk about courageous. Talk about having courage, okay, which leads us to why she may be best able to speak on this topic today of comfort zones, doubts, and insecurities. She recently acquired a position within a major company in the South as the first and only loss prevention analysis. During her time of leisure, she enjoys hiking, walking, exploring the city, and serving the community. Welcome, Sabrina Mays. How you doing today?
I'm glad to be here.
Very good. Very good. Thanks for joining us.
Well,
Were you going to say something?
I was
Did you
today.
forget?
Yes, today what happened was I was thinking as I was preparing to talk to you today or whatever, and I was like, oh my goodness. I said, why did she ask me to talk about comfort zones? And doubt rose up in my head, and it was like, you can't do that. You can't talk about doubt. You can't talk about insecurities, and you definitely can't talk about comfort zones. So I said, you know what? You what I'm talking about today.
You know?
I was like, you are what I'm talking about. So you might as well have several seats, all three of you, because I'm gonna crush you all today.
Yeah, right. All three of you, okay, Sybil, right? Okay, and that's exactly right. So and I did want to have you on here because we talk quite a bit, and I'm fully aware of some of those comfort zones, but I figure the people who are watching, they have issues with comfort zones as well, and some of them are more excessive than others. Okay, and so they need to hear about real people in real situations. They go through those same things and how they deal with them. We don't deal with all of our issues with comfort zones. We tackle those that are less fearful than some of the others. Okay, but they all fall into the same category. Okay, so I want to talk about comfort zones in the workplace and things that can prevent us from, number one, doing our job successfully. Why that could happen, how that can happen. And before we get there, let me get you to tell those who, and we've got 4 people watching. Looks like they aren't signed in. One of them is signed in with Twitter, and we've got some others that are watching incognito. So I want to thank you all for joining today. But let's talk about some of those comfort zones that you have. And we're here to talk. This is real talk. This is real talk. Okay. I was in church today, and Pastor B was talking about, we got to talk one to another.
Yep.
Okay. About the things that we fear. So what? Let's have it.
When you asked me about comfort zones, all I kept thinking about comfort zones. Like you said, we talk all the time. So I'm just like, you know what? When I first took that job, I had so many anxieties. One, nobody had ever worked it. It was a brand new position. It was new to the company. And here I am, have worked all these 10 plus years in 2 other jobs. And I knew exactly what to do, doing with my eyes closed. And I'm just thinking, like, all these people must be brilliant. They're in, at the top of the top. They're at the ladder, and people are like, oh, you're one of them. So, but I don't know what they know. I can't know what they do. Why did they select me? Out of all the people, why did they select me? So that was prior to me actually examining myself and coming back thinking about, you know what? You're just as great as anybody else. They don't know what you know.
Right.
They can't do what you do. They can't they can't go inside of your head and strip you from whatever it is that's inside of your head. And what makes them any better than you?
Right.
What makes you think that you cannot perform this job? What is it? What doubt? What insecurity has been placed inside of you? And because you've been in such a comfortable place, you're fearful now to move beyond any other scope or any other barrier that's put before you. So the other day, as I was riding home, I was thinking, like, comfort zone. I said, what? So some said, look up the word comfort zone when you get home. Look it up. A comfort zone is a place that makes you feel safe. So if a comfort zone is a place that makes you feel safe, what is doubt? Doubt is also a feeling too. Okay, so what is insecurity? Insecurity is how you feel about yourself. So all 3 of these had to go back to one key word: feelings. How you feel about yourself. What you thinking about you. The underlying picture was how I thought about me in that position.
Right.
Not what other people thought about me, because I had created this whole insecurity and doubt inside my head. Nobody, they hired me with the expectation that I could do the job. Not that she's gonna come here and fail.
Right.
Not that she's not a good asset to our company, but they hired me with the expectation that I could do an amazing job for their company. So why is it that I allow myself to be put in a place that doesn't even exist? I can't drive to a comfort zone.
Right. Exactly.
It's a place, but I can't drive there. I can't physically get in my car and go there. And because it's a comfort zone, some comfort zones are dangerous places. When people
I think they're all dangerous places. Well, not all, because some fears are justified. But we're not talking about somebody getting hurt in any kind of way. So I want to make that clear. But I would say all other fears, all other comfort zones probably need to be approached. But let's just back up for just 1 minute and talk about why these people hired you. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, from the start, you should have been thinking, well, they hired me because I got 14 years experience in fraud investigation, okay, or however long you were with that other place, and however long you were a fraud investigator. So that's what you had, and so they hired you because during your interview, you showed them what you knew. You convinced them enough, okay, not simply by telling your history and discussing with them, but they felt confident that you were the right person, because I'm sure they had other people that they interviewed, and I can say that during that interview, I'm 100% positive that you were 110% sincere and truthful, okay? Because look, if you had not been, you would really be in a mess, because you can't go in and fake that kind of job.
But the main thing about I just thought you were confident. That's another reason they hired you. You were confident that you could do this job. You were confident.
Stop right there for a minute. So I want to talk about that. Let me just say this, that confidence. And so when you go into an interview or any other situation, and this happens with me too, you are really just being who you are. And that's what they see. And in that moment, you're not saying to yourself, I need to project confidence. You're just being you. You're just being you. But it's not till afterwards,
the anxiety to kick in.
It kicks in. And let me ask you, do you feel like this? Because, like I said, you're just being you, okay? And this is what people see. And then so when that anxiety and those thoughts about the comfort zone kick in, I know to me, sometimes I feel like, God, I feel like such a fraud. When I was in a situation, I was just being me. I am who I am. I'm fully capable of doing this. I know that I can do this. Why do I feel like I'm such a fraud when I was sincere? All I said was true.
I would think that
does that happen to you?
Yeah, it happened to me. It happened to me. And I would think that it comes from the doubt and the insecurity. And it's yesterday I had gone to a Mary Kay party, and the rep was there, and she was selling her stuff, and she was talking about how she had accomplished all her goals, and she said, and we're supposed to bring other people in. I said, well, I sold Mary Kay before, and she said, well, why'd you stop selling Mary Kay? I said, insecurity. She said, what do you mean? I said, Mary Kay been around for 50 plus years. Nobody has to sell Mary Kay. I said, Mary Kay's gonna sell itself. I said, what you're really selling to people is you. I said, whether or not they like you or not is whether or not they're gonna purchase your product. I said, all these representatives out here for Mary Kay. I said, and at the time, I said, I wasn't secure in myself enough to go out here and sell myself, not Mary Kay. I said, I could have just produced that pink and black bag, and people would have flocked to me, and possibly, if I would have had a party, and possibly just bought it, I could have stood here and said, stood here with this bag and this product. People gonna buy Mary Kay anyway. I said, it's about selling you. I said, when you're not confident enough to sell you, then nobody else is gonna buy you either. Don't
Nobody,
you
nobody
can't
is.
expect somebody else to invest in you when you're not
Right,
willing to invest in yourself. It's like a
right,
wallet. What you put in is what you get out. Don't
right.
look for a full return at the end of the day when you
Mhm.
can't put any kind of self confidence, happiness, joy, peace, and all of those positive intangibles inside of you. If all
Right.
you have is self doubt, self selfless worth, you don't think anything about yourself, then that's what you're gonna get. So on it, and to go back to the question you asked me, on that job, I instilled all those qualities inside of me. The minute
Right.
that I took that job, I lost my confidence. I had it no more.
Did
I don't
anybody
have it no more.
did anybody see that loss of confidence? Did
My
anybody
boss,
see? Yeah.
actually, you know what? My boss saw the loss of confidence and she just kept on. She kept on pushing. She kept on. She didn't say,
Pushing for what? What was she pushing for?
she was just pushing for me to be the person that she hired. She wasn't pushing for me to be somebody perfect. She wasn't
Hmm.
pushing for me to be great. She just pushed for me just to know that, look, you're not going to learn this job overnight.
Hmm.
You're not the 14-year analyst or the 12 years monitoring person. You're not that person.
Hmm.
Right here, right now is the day for you to start. We're wiping your slate clean. You're going to create a whole new greatness inside of you. This is
Hmm.
a new opportunity that you're taking on. So you don't come out your mother's womb crawling.
Right. Right.
You don't come out your mother's womb walking.
Really?
You don't. So just take baby steps. Learn piece by piece, day by day, and quit trying to be your biggest critic.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, that's all I was, my biggest critic.
Right, right, right. So, and this is just one case where your boss just happened to see those insecurities. Do you feel like overall that your insecurities or your comfort zones or vulnerabilities are apparent to a large number of people that you come in contact, particularly those that you are close to, and then those that you just associate with? Do you think those comfort zones are apparent?
No, comfort zone's not a parent.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a parent because they're all mental. They're
Mm-hmm.
all within our heads. We create them.
Mm-hmm.
People just take, for instance, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
People take Facebook and look at it and think you have a perfect life. They assume that, like, oh, never has a bad hair
Yeah.
day, or,
Yeah.
she never has anything going on negative about her because I'm only putting the positives out there.
Right.
They
Right.
don't know, they may not know that yesterday I couldn't even get out of bed because I
Mm-hmm.
just was so depressed, or I just was
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
sad that I just didn't even want to look at me.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know? And so the thing about it is people can't see your comfort zones. You
Right.
walk past people every day. You don't know they're mentally unstable.
No. You
You
don't.
know, and the sad part about it is a comfort zone to me is almost like depression. The only difference in a comfort zone and depression is a serious illness
Mm-hmm.
that people tend to overlook. They
Right.
tend to think that
Right.
you can just get up and press past it.
Mm-hmm.
A comfort zone is the same. People think that you can get up and press past that comfort zone. It's all about how you feel about you. And somebody else and nobody else can come along and say, Sabrina, get out that comfort zone. You're gonna be
Right.
that person.
It doesn't
Get
work
out.
like
Sabrina,
that.
change who you are. Sabrina, it's just all in your head.
That's
It's
right.
all in my head. That's the thing about it. It's
Right.
in my head.
Right, right. Hang on one second. Don't move. Don't move. Come on. But let me say this about comfort zones and depression. I will say from firsthand experiences, I would not compare comfort zones with depression. Like you said, depression is a mental illness. But I will say this, okay? Depending on the extent of your comfort zone, it can lead to depression. Okay, I think that's very real. Okay, and in my case, what led to my depression were a number of attempts to do some things that I was not being successful at doing, and I wanted it so bad. But part of it was because I hadn't really always been in that comfort zone, but because I had been so unsuccessful so many times, I let my past determine my future. And so I became afraid to try some things. And I wanted it bad. I wanted it bad. I wanted it bad. But my comfort zone, that fear was keeping me from doing it again. And then that led to my depression and the most doubt I have ever felt about myself. So I wanted to say that about comfort zones, comparing comfort zones to depression, that it can lead to depression, not necessarily that it's like depression. Okay. But go ahead, and that's my opinion. That's my opinion, and everybody has their own opinion. But I'm just expressing mine. Let me know that I'm not the queen of all knowledge. Okay, I'm not the queen of okay. Yeah, I'm just not. But so and in the case of work, one of the things I found too. And this is in any situation, one of the things that rids people of comfort zone, number one, is knowledge. Okay, I think that the more people know about a subject, I think more people know about something that they want to do. I think that confidence comes with that. Okay, and that that confidence will lead you out of that comfort zone. And something you were saying earlier about comfort zones, I can't remember exactly what it was. But I did a Periscope a while back, and on the topic of, comfort zones are anything but comfortable.
Exactly.
Okay, because they are anxiety producing. Okay,
that's what all of them are. All of them come from anxiety.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, your doubt, your insecurity, and your comfort zones stem from anxieties of the unknown.
Yeah.
It's funny how we'll sit around all day and we'll say, it's just like the other day when you and I were talking about risk and chance.
Yeah.
How people take risk and chance as they're interchangeable.
Yeah, right.
They're interchangeable.
Right.
But it's the same. People will say, "Oh, I can't do that." I just can't do that. Is your comfort zone telling you you can't do it? You hadn't even tried.
Well, let's make it clear on that distinction between the risk and the chance for people who might not just get it right off the top. We're having a conversation about, I had did a Periscope about, risking for the reward. And people, when it comes to risk, they always think about the bad part. Okay, they don't want to risk losing on the stock market. They don't want to risk because they don't want to lose this. And so what Sabrina is saying about risk and chance being the same, they might know that, they consider the risk in losing something on the stock market as a bad thing, but people might say, why don't you take a chance on love? Okay, risk and chance are the same thing. So it's just a matter of how you look at it. So if you're going to take a risk, then why not consider that risk as not a bad thing, but instead of taking a risk on losing, why don't you take a risk on winning? Oh, that's strong.
Exactly. Or just if you think of risk as being something negative, why don't you just change the word out and just add chance?
You can change it. You can change
just change the word out. Period.
Yeah.
This lady yesterday, I was busy yesterday. Yesterday, this lady, she was talking. She was telling this lady, her husband she's a doctor, and her husband told this other young lady, "Oh, we're gonna find you a husband. We're gonna find your husband.
Mm-hmm.
Just haven't met the right one yet." Mm-hmm. And so when somebody said, so I asked her, and they said, "How do you know he was the one?" And they were having this conversation, and she said, well, what did he feel about you being a doctor? She said, why did he need to know I was a doctor? He wasn't coming to me. But he was going to be one of my patients. He was going to be my husband.
Right.
She said, I don't just go around telling people I'm a doctor. Yes. She said, because if I tell people I'm a doctor, they're going to put me in a box. And they're going to automatically think that I can't engage with them. I know something they don't know. She said, I learn something from people every single day. Right. She said, I might be a doctor and I practice being a doctor, but that doesn't mean I know everything else about life. And that just goes back to say, like, people take it goes back to me as the whole risk and chance thing. You risk that thinking somebody else knows something better than you because they're or something more than you because they're in a certain profession or because they may be elite or whatever it is. But you never take a chance on you. You could be that, take a chance on you.
That's right.
That's it at the end of the day.
Well, also at the end of the day, there's no boogeyman. There's no boogeyman who's gonna get you if you take this chance. You know what I'm saying? But and going back and talking about that doctor, because I want these people personal experiences, tell a story for me, and I can relate almost anything that anybody says to a personal story. So about that doctor not telling this person their doctor because they might put them in the box. I was thinking today when I was leaving church, it must have been said something that the pastor said, and I was thinking about being an introvert. Okay, now here I am on this platform where we've got several listeners. I don't know how many on here. I'm assuming I got some family. Hey family, if you're watching, hey. But I was just thinking that in some situations I tell people that I'm an introvert. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being an introvert, period. Okay. But and I want to say too, people, you see these little hands over there? If you take your mouse and click on it, if Sabrina is saying anything that resonates with you, or that you can relate to, make sure you click on that with a mouse and give her some high fives. We call them some props, and do the same with me as well if you feel like we're saying something that resonates with you. But I was just thinking, I don't tell everybody that I'm an introvert, not because I'm ashamed of it, because I don't want them to put me in a box. Okay. For example, if I don't know some people and I tell them, that I'm an introvert, and there's some activity going on that they might need people, they're gonna say, well, we don't want to get Sabrina, because she's an introvert, she's not gonna take a part of this, she's gonna be quiet, she's not gonna be contribute. Okay, that ain't what you see here, right?
Exactly.
Hello, that's not what you see. So in some cases, I don't tell people because they will put me in a box, that I don't really need to be in. The other thing I wanted to comment on is you're talking about social media, and you're so right. Because I was in a conversation yesterday. There was a lady talking about a situation with her daughter and some former in-laws, and so she was asking some advice. It was really a complicated situation, and I really wasn't going to try to give this lady any advice because it was a bit too heavy. It was really heavy. Let me see who's calling in here. Seamus Alberto. Okay, hang on just a second. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, hang on just a second. So I was not about to jump into that because that was like a real deep personal relationship between her and her family. And I'm like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. 10-foot pole. But what I did say, and I let her know this, two things. What I hear in all that you're saying, there's a backstory that we know nothing about. Mm-hmm. There's some history here that we're just not getting in your comment, okay? And in order for anybody to make a comment on that, they would have to go back deep, okay? The other comment that I made is what people get on Facebook is just a snippet. People would tear you down, judge you, jump on you, off a snippet. That much.
Exactly.
This is all they get. Not enough to make a judgment on anything. Even when you ask a question, people can give you an answer on it. And if somebody asking you from a personal level, okay, they might be able to go ahead and answer it. But what that person doesn't ask in that, what that person doesn't say in that question is that backstory.
Exactly.
Real deal that you need to know in order to be able to answer that question intelligently.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's very heavy. But so let's backtrack to what we're talking about in the beginning, Nikki, about those comfort zones and doubts and insecurities at work. So I know your situation, and so your boss or your supervisor, she recognized that in you that there was some doubt there, some insecurities. Okay, and I know that you overcame a certain situation that turned out to be vastly different than you thought it was. And it could not have worked out any better had you planned it yourself.
It had.
Okay, if you had written your script, okay, it could have not gotten any better than that. So what has changed for you at work based on the outcome of that situation, which was really good. And I will say this without saying too much. Sabrina was thinking something was happening at work that would not have really worked into her favor. Okay, and what happened was it worked in her favor 225%. So how has your attitude changed since then? What are you doing differently?
The only thing, my attitude has changed tremendously is I just have to give myself affirmations every day. I still give myself affirmations and say, hey, just do your best. Just do your best. And the thing about insecurity is no, I had to tell myself, you know what, you're equipped. You came from the same place that all of these other people out here walking the earth came from. You all were created the exact same way. What in your mind has made you believe that you're not capable? So now I tell myself you're capable. You do your best. As long as you do your best. If you give 100%, that's all that matters. You know that you've done 100%. Nobody's inside of your head. They cannot say whether or not you've actually done your best.
Right.
Even if it's wrong, even if the outcome comes out and just say if I have an assignment and it's not exactly what they asked for. Well, I did my best. And the only thing I can do is go back and correct it. That's the only thing I can do. I can ask questions, quit trying to assume, quit thinking that everything at the end of the day is not going to work out in my favor. If I'm on my side and God's on my side, who can be against me? Why are you so worried about what somebody else is going to say? How do you even know? And then the thing about it is, I had written myself off, but then I started learning that, guess what? These people started putting snippets in my, oh, you're great. You're amazing. You're doing an excellent job. Oh, we're so glad. You're such an asset. And I'm sitting up here thinking,
right?
And I'm sitting up here thinking, I'm an asset. I'm doing a great
job. That's so funny.
And I seriously was thinking that about myself. I'm sitting up here creating this terrible person inside of me, eating away. My anxiety is eating away inside of me, and I was doing 100%. So every day I just go in there and do that same 100%. But I tell myself, you're a great person. You're an asset. They hired you because you're an asset. Even if they didn't hire you, you're still an asset because you came from God.
Well, let me ask you this, Sabrina. While they were telling you, these good things, and you were doing this wonderful job, you said me, like Elijah the other day. That's your mama. So while they were telling you these things that you were doing a good job, was it that you didn't believe them?
I was just like, they can't be talking about this, Sabrina.
So you didn't believe them?
Yeah.
I mean, really, answer that question. Did you believe them?
I didn't believe them. I just
you didn't believe. You thought they were lying.
I was like, they can't be talking about me.
Why?
Because I was so used to. I'm gonna go back to before I started the job. When I got ready to leave this company, that other company, and go to this company, I didn't tell anybody purposely. The few people that I did tell, one lady came up to me and said, girl, you might be crazy for leaving here after all these years. I mean, you're vested in the company. I mean, why would you go out there and try to start something new all over again? I mean, what if you don't make it?
Yeah.
I said, what if I don't try? Me not making it and me not trying is the same thing.
Right.
If I sit here and I'm unhappy, I'm uncomfortable, I feel like I'm better than this, I'm more than this, and I yearn and desire for more, to learn more, to do more, to be more. I have a family. I would allow my family to sit back and just be comfortable in a situation. Goes back to that comfort zone. So those negative connotations played in my head. Oh, you might not make it. Oh, you might fail at it. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
why would you leave? And there were days when I asked myself, why did you leave? You might have made a mistake. Oh my goodness. Even with the positives that I was getting from the company, I still told myself, you might have made a mistake. You might need to go back. See if you can get your old job back. But that's only because we allow the world and society to give us and to dictate to us our lives. We
Mm-hmm.
allow the world, even we already battling with a mentally inside of our own heads. We already
Insecurity,
got
yeah.
this battle, this devil and this angel on our
Yeah.
shoulder telling us
Mm-hmm.
every day, you can do it. No, you can't. You can do it. No, you can't. We already dealing with it anyway. And when somebody comes up and tell us something negative, we never think about who told us something positive. The positives don't matter. And it's
Yeah.
like I said on your Facebook feed thread the other day. It's funny how when people die, we never think about what they did that was bad. We never say, oh, so and so was just a terrible person. We never say that. We
Right.
always pull out the positives and the good in people. So why is it that daily as we walk this earth, and this is what I had to tell myself. Why is it that you can't tell yourself something positive every day?
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you're doing 100% on this job, why
Mm-hmm.
is it that you can't tell yourself daily that be positive towards you? You wouldn't tell anybody in your family that.
Right.
I wouldn't come here and say, I wouldn't go to nobody and say, you know what, you're just a terrible person. You need to
Right.
quit your job because you're terrible. They don't like you no way.
Get on out of here. Get.
You know what I'm saying? Just quit because you're terrible.
Like,
It's just crazy how we play this. We have this mental state, and it just plays in our mind all of the negative things over
it does.
and over and over.
It does. I'm gonna make a confession here about something because you were saying, nobody at a funeral, nobody's up there saying, a bunch of bad things about you. And I just, I probably shouldn't even put this out here, but I'm gonna put this out here. Okay, number one, because I need my family to know my family is watching. I really want this to happen. One thing I always say, when I go to funerals, everybody's always saying such good things about people, and every time I leave a funeral, I want to pick up the phone and call my daughter and say, Candace, if something should happen to me, if I should die, don't you pick up my phone and call a single person. You bury me. I don't want a memorial service. I don't want a funeral. I don't want anything because I don't want anybody struggling trying to say something good about me. That's a confession. I do that every time I leave a funeral. I want you to run and tell Candace, don't call anybody and tell them I'm dead. Don't have no memorial. Don't have no funeral. I don't want anybody struggling with coming up with something good to say about me.
That's deep.
I'm just being honest.
That's deep.
I'm just being honest. You hear me saying it, and as of this moment, that's what I mean. Don't give me no funeral. Don't give me no. I mean that right now. Unless I change my mind and tell you that's how I want it to be. That's how I want it to be. So that's just my confession. But that's all of these insecurities that we have. Even as I talk, I know the good qualities that I have. Right now, that's my wish, and you heard it right here on Blab. Okay, so I'm gonna say that about that. But these messages, and I always want to be cremated anyway. So I say that. I say that because I leave the funeral, but I want to be cremated anyway because I'm dead and gone. I just that big old casket that costs thousands of dollars. Give that to my grandkids. You know what I'm saying? Give that to my grandkids. Bury me. Put my ashes in a ragu spaghetti jar, okay? $1.59 sitting in the grocery store every day. You know what I'm saying? Don't think you're gonna double somewhere anyway. Don't put it on the mouthpiece, okay?
Ain't no ashes like that old cooking grease. Put it in that Pringles jar with it.
That Crisco can, right? Put me in a Crisco can. Put me in a Crisco can. But these are the negative messages that we tell ourselves. And fear and comfort zones really only live inside our own head. They're like a live person that nobody knows exists except for you. And I want to talk about this for just a minute, not to change the subject. I got this bag. This young lady who's proofing my new book is called It's called Crushing Comfort Zones. One quote, let's see, one quote, one quote, insight, and affirmation at a time. Crushing comfort zones. One quote, insight, and affirmation at a time. Okay, because what the quotes, the insights and affirmation, what the quotes and affirmation does is feed yourself positive information. And I know for a fact that works. Okay, the first time that I really ever realized how that worked, I tested on Facebook, probably maybe 4 or 5 years ago, because when you first got on Facebook, all you saw was those, those fights at the bowling alley, you know what I'm saying? People getting beat up in McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? And so, you kind of get into the gossip too, when you first get on Facebook. I said, I'm going to try some one day. I'm going to put all these positive affirmations on Facebook. And I'm telling you, within a week, everybody that I needed to drop off my feed, they dropped off. Okay, because negativity only breeds negativity, and when you start feeding yourself positive information and putting positivity out in the atmosphere, those people, just like Satan, they'll flee. They don't want to be bothered with you. So I know that quotes and affirmations work, and this is actually going to be I'm thinking about doing a webinar on this as well. It's 104 quotes, insights, and affirmations. So that book hopefully will be out by June. And I may do a webinar or workshop based on that, because those comfort zones start with changing your mind and changing the way you think. I don't care what you say about it. That's the bottom line right there. What you think, okay, is what you do.
It's funny that you brought your book up, because when I was thinking about Insecurities in Doubt, I might need to turn this down a little bit. Hold on. When I was thinking about Insecurities in Doubt, I thought about, I said, no, I wonder. I just thought about your book and how you were saying, I'm going to make it one word. I'm going to talk about one word, I said, okay. I said, you know what? I wonder if we walked around with that one word as our name. Like if people call me, just like in the Bible, they call, Jesus gave him the name, Doubting Thomas. If we walked around with that negative name, I wonder how we would feel about that. I just wonder if people came up to you and said, "Hey, insecure Sabrina, would you change?"
You said, "Who you calling insecure?" And then you walk in and say, "Hey, insecure Sabrina," you be offended. It wasn't nothing but the truth, right?
Exactly. What's up, low self-esteem? Thelma or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Low self-esteem Lucy. Yeah.
Exactly. Low self-esteem. What if we had to walk around and people actually knew that that's the way we felt about ourselves every single day? I'm not talking, I mean, like everybody. Everybody. Because everybody who walks this earth deal with the same things that all three of these demons, they deal with them.
To different degrees.
I wouldn't care if you Oprah, to Beyonce, to Bill Gates. Each and every one of them they're dealing with this. It ain't like they have dealt with it. They still dealing with it. It's like, this don't get off the subject a little bit. It's like this lady asked me yesterday, she said, well, Donald Trump's kids didn't, they didn't get a chance to register to vote. I said, well, ma'am, voting probably is not a reality. It's not probably one of their normal lifestyle. I said, I'm just trying to see. I said, why does voting matter to them? I said, their dad is a millionaire, whatever he is. I said, why does voting matter to them?
Right.
I said, and the funny part about all of this is, and she said, well, if Trump get in office, I don't know what we gonna do. I said, ma'am, Trump deal with the same thing we deal with. I said, the facade that he putting on every day. I said, getting on here acting a fool clown, and I said, in order to destroy, I said just destroy all of us. I said he got some jumping on the bandwagon. Some of it, I said he exposing the demons.
Exactly.
Of us. I said, all of these hidden secrecies that's been hidden as if stuff don't exist anymore. I said, it's just coming out. I said, he just the vessel that's being used in order for it to come out.
That's right. Exactly. And you're right about that, because dang, I forgot. Look, dang, I've got to register to vote for my dad. Okay, for my dad.
It's
You
like
know,
it's like normal.
yeah. That is a prime example. But so let's shift from let's talk about because the other day on Facebook there was this a really good conversation going on in the Bold Beautiful Women Always Bounce Back group about vulnerability. Okay, and how you know how people the way another way that people look at words. Okay, like the risk and the chance. People look at vulnerability as being a weakness rather than being human.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Vulnerability means a weakness. To me, vulnerability means that you're human. You have compassion. You have heart. You feel. But because of this, you're a weak person. And and one person had said, she had grown up, to be independent and strong, and so that wasn't really maybe vulnerabilities were looked down to in her family. So we raise our kids, and I feel like I raised my daughter to be independent, to be take care of yourself. But to some degree, I may have done her an injustice. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm there for my daughter, but I also know that my daughter, when she's in need, she's not always forthcoming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I never said to her, you be independent. You do for yourself. Don't depend on anybody to take care of her. I didn't have to say any of those things, okay, because that's how I live.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just advise anybody.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Anybody read that thread, I think that they should go on to Facebook and read the thread, because it shows the uniqueness in everybody and how vulnerability just affects all of us. But we always think at it again as a negative connotation. It's just something negative that that we can allow ourselves to open up to certain situations when, as mentioned in the thread was about, a lot of people saw as people being vulnerable as being negative. But if you're not vulnerable, you can either be vulnerable to success or you can be vulnerable to failure. But if you never try,
right,
you're only vulnerable to failure. That's your only option.
Right. And so what came through at the top of the list on that discussion was make yourself vulnerable because people will see you as weak, or making yourself vulnerable, setting yourself to be taken advantage of. Okay, those seem to be the only two choices in that thread. Either I'm weak, or somebody's going to see what my vulnerability is. They're going to jump on me like a hawk or a vulture, and they're just going to devour me. But how about how smart you are?
Exactly.
To detect a snake or a vulture.
Exactly.
Okay, how about how smart you are to not open yourself up to that type of person? Exactly. How about how smart you are to only open up to someone that loves you, and to someone that you trust, okay, who's not going to view your vulnerability, your humanness, or being humane and compassionate. They're not going to look down on that. And how about people? How about overall people want to help?
Exactly.
Okay, but because you figure you don't give people an opportunity to help because you're so afraid that people will reject you or say no. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the kind of help where people become dependent on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I remember years ago, I was at the service station. I lived in Inslee, right? This must have been in the early 90s, maybe even in the 80s. And so this guy, I'm pumping gas at the BP right there on Inslee Avenue, right? And so this guy asked if he could pump my gas. It's a true story. And I said, no, thank you. I got it. Oh, you one of them independent women. And I'm thinking to myself at the time, what's so bad about being independent? And then later on in my life, much later in my life, I began to think, I'm so independent that people think I don't need help sometimes. I need help too.
Yep. Yep, and people think that you created a barrier where they not even able to get
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
You
yeah.
won't even
I
allow.
need help
Sometimes you
too.
won't even allow people in because you created this
Like that
barrier,
guy. Oh, you
this
want to be in the
invisible
picture?
barrier. And even though you want to cry and say, "Please help me," I need
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I
Please
need
help
it.
me. You
I
still
need it.
have this barrier that you created, which I kind of think like it goes back to like you were saying about your daughter. I
Uh
had
huh.
the same barrier up where
Hmm.
when I really need help, I don't ask people for help. I just
Yeah.
figure it out. And I feel like everybody else on this earth need to figure it out. But everybody we're made up different. We're made up different, and you need help sometimes. You
Yeah.
need to allow somebody to come in to help you because you
Do
don't have all the answers.
you
And
do?
sometimes you just can't figure it out.
You just can't figure it out. You can't figure it out. I mean, there's some situation you can work yourself out of. But there are those times you really just need help. So first of all, okay, so who's the person that's going to be to help you? Okay. And the flip side of the vulnerability and asking for help is, okay, who is a person that's in a position to help you? Okay, who is a person that you can trust to help you, and who is a person that's willing to help you? Okay, and then who is the person who's gonna help you, and then
They ain't gonna
then,
tell everybody that they helped
yeah,
you.
you're gonna be taking you're gonna hit that to the grave. You remember I left you in that nickel, right?
And they gonna wave it over your face like, hey, hey,
If I
hey,
die, you owe me a dime, okay? I
hey.
want my dime plus interest. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I
So
was
yeah,
calling you because you remember I helped you 2 years ago.
and everybody gonna know about it. But we have the sense to know those people that we can or should be able to trust to ask for something. But you know what? Even if we don't know and we ask somebody to help us and that situation doesn't turn out well, that doesn't dictate how every other situation is going to turn out should we ask somebody else. Nikki, hang on for just a second here. I see we got a number of people, and I want to thank everybody for joining us on this conversation. I appreciate each and every one of you. If there's anyone that wants to ask a question, make a comment, or even take a seat, we're talking about crushing comfort zones, doubts, and insecurities, and how our vulnerabilities keep us from, they harm relationships, okay, and maybe more harmful than they are doing us good, okay, because everybody has some kind of vulnerability, and I don't mean that it makes you weak. I'm not talking about vulnerability in a bad way that makes you a weak person. Vulnerability to me makes you human, okay? Everybody needs somebody, okay? Nobody can live in this world alone without some help from somebody. I don't care how super you think you are, okay? Superman, superwoman, super child. I'm not, okay? And I'll be honest with you. I'm one of those people that's not too quick to help, okay? So I can typically, depending on the situation, I can typically work my way out of a situation, either work my way out of a situation in a rather, fast pace, maybe, I get in a dire situation, I might say, oh man, or something else, you know what I'm saying? And I may mull over a day or two, might even take me a week, and I'm going to be thinking about how I can do it on my own, okay? And 9 times out of 10, that might be the situation that's happened. It's already worked out, okay? But what if it doesn't? And one of the things that I was thinking about today, something I can't remember, something that somebody had. Oh, I was taking this survey from church trying to find out which ministry I might be a good fit for. And one of the questions had to do with how I deal with obstacles, not necessarily obstacles, but situations where I might need help or something like that. And I was thinking, really, my life is so simple. I don't have a whole bunch of situations. I don't have a whole bunch of situations, that cause me to be in dire straits. And I'm so fortunate to be able to say that, because honestly, in my life, I'm not a spendthrift, okay? I'm not one of those women that's live in the mall, okay? I feel guilty about going shopping for myself twice a year. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't. I have a place to stay. I don't cook, but I can always eat. Okay, I got a car and I can put gas in to go to work and do my job and whatever else I need to do. Okay. And I'm okay with that. Everything else that I want or need is gravy. It's gravy. It's gravy. So I don't ever really complain about what I don't have. And so I think when it comes for asking people to help me with certain things, okay, it's because sometimes maybe when I need help, more than likely it has to do with those three basic things. Okay, so the first thing I think, well, if I need help, what did I do wrong to cause me to do help? Because I'm not in that situation very much. Okay, and if I did something to cause me to need help, if I got myself into it, I probably need to get myself out of it.
And I don't,
Can you relate to that?
And I don't need to relate again.
Huh?
I said, and you always say, and you also think I don't need to go back again. I just tend to always think about. I always tend to think about what's my lesson that I'm supposed to learn from this. What lesson am I supposed to learn from this? And a lot of times when you don't think about the lesson you're supposed to learn, a lot of times we say, oh, this ain't even about me. If you in it, it's about you. So I just think, what's my lesson I'm supposed to learn from it? And I just try to make sure, and I always ask for discernment. If we ask for discernment, and if we try to find discernment in things, then a lot of times, you won't end up repeating history. You won't end up going back through it. And you'll end up, just you won't have to actually deal with whether or not if you're vulnerable or not, because discernment will tell you whether or not somebody's trying to take advantage of you.
Right.
It'll be that voice that says, "Hey, back away now." Or nah, this is not good. It's not good for you. So a lot of times if we tap into discernment, learn what discernment is first.
Right.
And pray for it. Then a lot of times you won't even be placed in that situation, because even when you think that even when you in your heart, you made up your mind, look, I'm going to do this. I know that I'm going to do this. This is exactly what I'm going to do. Discernment will tell you, no, you're not.
Right.
I've had plenty of situations the day of. I've already made my mind up. I've already said, oh, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna do it. I don't care what nobody say. This is me. I'm going to do.
Oh, yeah.
And then I end up sitting on the sofa at the end of the night thinking, well, I wonder why I ain't go here. I wonder because discernment, something stopped. A good, perfect example is with my daughter. A lot of times, raising a teenager, you want to tell them no about a lot of foolish stuff. She'll ask me something. She'll say, "Hey, Ma, can I go X, Y, and Z? My friends are going here, and I want to go in da 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 da." And I'm like, you know what? I'm just quiet. And I'm just like, Lord, you know what? You handle it. You know whether or not it's best for her to go. Lord, just show me if it's something that I should allow her to do. Without me even saying a word.
Right.
Without me telling her yes or no. She'll end up saying, well, I ain't going. Or she'll end up saying, well, I don't want to go, or I didn't go, or lay it down, or whatever it is. A lot of times if we tap into that discernment and we use it for what it's worth, things will just end up working themselves out. And we won't have to even, it's nothing that we'll even have to do.
That's exactly right. And then one of the other things about that, this is words again, okay? Because to me, they're basically the same thing. But I may ask for discernment, in one way, but instincts, discernment to me only comes from God, and instincts are the same way. Okay, I never, ever, ever. There's never a situation where I don't listen to my instincts. Not ever. Okay, I learned years ago, probably when I first began having a relationship with God. Okay, if something tells me, if my instincts tell me to not do something or to be careful, I'm going to listen 100% of the time. 100% of the time. But it's almost time to go. But I want to go back a little bit because we started off talking about comfort zones and doubts and insecurities in the workplace. But I want to mention one other thing before we go, because I know that you have I know that you have a small business, a nonprofit, okay, that you have, and it kind of kind of fell off to the wayside, so I want to talk about that a little bit, where you are with it now and what you're going to do a little different. So first of all, I want to know, what is that nonprofit? What does it do? And what does it do?
Well, I have a nonprofit.
Okay.
It's called Brave Inc. Be resilient, add value every day. And brave is pretty much, it's just talking about just being positive towards everything, adding value in everything that you do. I don't care whatever it is. If you come in contact, if you encounter whatever it is in life that you do, just be brave about it. Don't let anything strip you of being brave. Don't let anything tell you, destroy you, knock you down from being the best that you could possibly be. You face every day by conquering it already, by mentally conquering it already, and just saying, I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna face today, and I'm gonna be the best me that I can possibly be. And when you encounter people, when you see them, and you may think that, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna say anything to them. I'm not gonna do anything with them. It's just about people. It goes back to vulnerability. People are vulnerable. They're hurting. They need support. They need somebody to strengthen them. They just need a strong word in their life. It could be, you're worthy. It could be, I'm encouraging you. Be your best. Do your best. Just be brave.
Right. Is this brave? Is this brave part of the same thing that you were doing with Cardiff, where you were, bringing food to the elderly? Is it all the same thing?
Brave is a part of Cardiff. I actually changed the name from Cardiff because I was working with seniors, and my heart has always been geared towards seniors. People forget about them. They lost. People just let them sit to the wayside. They think, okay, well, they're a certain age and we'll just wait on them to die. That's not right. We gain wisdom from older people. We gain knowledge from older people. They've endured a lot of stuff that we'll never encounter. And so therefore we should always put back and place back inside of them that hope. They need hope. They need hope to know that it's okay. They can go on. Somebody cares. Somebody loves them. So with Cardiff, I decided one day, I was thinking, you know what? I said, older people don't just need hope. Everybody needs hope. Everybody needs to know. When I visit the seniors, and it's just like, they need to know that they can be resilient at any age. People can be resilient at any age. Any day you can add value to your life. Don't sit here and think that you're just going to be pushed aside, and you could be thrown aside simply because you're a certain age and nobody comes to visit you. Nobody thinks you're worth anything. You can't and add value to their lives.
Add value to their lives. Well, I tell you, I love the name Brave. I love what it stands for. One thing I will say, as it relates to our conversation, is it kind of puts you on the spot. Because you're going to have to be that. Okay, you're going to have to walk the walk, and you're going to have to talk the talk. Okay, you're going to have to be brave. Okay, and I would tell you, when it comes to doubts and insecurity, and you may still have them. Okay, you may still have them, but I know from experience, you have to resist. Okay, and it might be a lifelong struggle. It's something that you have to do daily. You have to resist those insecurities and those doubts on a daily basis. But one other thing about being a nonprofit, because nonprofit, the essence of nonprofit is this. When you say nonprofit, you say, I need help.
Yes.
And so if you have a problem asking for help, what are you going to do? I mean, because Carter, for one reason, this was something that you did mostly by yourself. That's not going to happen. You can't serve people the way that you want to serve all by yourself. Tell the people watching what you need. What do you need? What do you need from people?
I need
What do you
help.
need from people? You help doing what? With what?
I need help serving. I need help getting. I need donations. I just need help. I need help in teaching people how to be brave. I need
How to be brave.
donations so that we'll be able to supply all the needs of these individuals so we can show them that they can be brave. So that we
Mhm.
can instill value back inside people who have been stripped of their value, who have been
Mhm.
stripped of their self-worth, who are living with insecurities, doubt, and have been placed in comfort zones that really shouldn't even exist. I
Shouldn't
need.
even be
So please be brave,
brave.
be brave,
Be
and
brave
help me. Send
and help.
donations. Please
Hey,
send
I,
donations.
I admire your brave, you being brave right this moment and asking Phil. So if somebody wanted to help you, how would they do that? How would they get in contact with you? Do you have a website? Do you have a contact form on your website? Do you have an email address? You know, like bebrave@bebrave.com or something. You know, if somebody listening wants to help you, how do they contact you to help?
You can contact me at your brave, YOUR brave at gmail.com.
.com or at gmail.com. Yourbrave@gmail.com.
Mhm.
Okay, so if there's anybody listening that wants to make a contribution to Brave Inc., you can do that no matter where you live and where you live in the country, where you live in the world. You can make a donation to Be Brave. If you're local, Sabrina will need some help in other ways, perhaps with delivery or perhaps with making phone calls or
Yes.
whatever. She's going to need that help. We're gonna wind down. I got a rated G movie to go see. Okay. Pre-G. Okay. A B C D F. Okay. I got a movie to go see, so we're gonna be taking off. My name is Sharita Cadenhead. I am the founder of Renew, Refresh, Reset Your Life. I'm your exit strategist, helping you to exit out of your comfort zone and into your purpose, passion, desires, and goals. I'm a certified life coach, and I'm fully capable of helping you to do that. If I'm not the one to help you, that's no problem. I know some people who can help you do that. All we need for you to do is to acknowledge you have an issue with comfort zones, doubts, and fears. You need to face it. You need to confront it, and you need to decide that you want to do something about it. Okay? Being in a comfort zone is only a problem if it prevents you from doing something that you really want to do. Okay, so don't live out your life with any regrets, particularly with something you have full control over. Stop living inside of your head and get outside of your head, because you have a lot to offer people in this world. I trust that you do. We all do. If you would like to contact me, you can get me at renewrefreshreset@gmail.com. You can Google me. I'm all over the place. I couldn't hide if I wanted to. Okay, so we're going to end this program. It's 4:14 and on a Sunday afternoon. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I appreciate your coming and listening, and you have an absolutely fabulous Sunday. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks, Nikki. Bye-bye.